In the last class, we have discussed regarding what is sampling, what are its objectives, and its preservation techniques. In today's class, we are going to discuss regarding the water quality standard as per Bureau of Indian Standard Limit. So, before going to the water quality standard as per BIS limit, we should study regarding water characteristics. So, your BIS standards will be mainly dependent upon these water characteristics. So, water will be having the physical characteristics, chemical characteristics, and biological characteristics. So, what is physical characteristics? So, water is when we are going to look a water, right, we will be having certain characteristics like the color, odor, turbidity, temperature, and the solids. So by observing water, whatever the characteristics we are going to see, that we call it as a physical characteristics. Now what are chemical characteristics? Chemical characteristics are nothing but the water will be having certain amount of dissolved elements. For example, it will be having chloride, it will be having some amount of hardness due to some amount of the salts, okay, then it might be having the alkalinity, then it might have your COD, POD, all these will be coming under the chemical characteristics. That means certain amount of chemicals that will be dissolved in this particular water. So due to that, the water will be getting some of the chemical characteristics. Then the biological characteristics. The water will be giving a shelter to various kinds of microbes in it. So due to those microbes, the water will be having some amount of biological characteristics. So these together, all these characteristics will make the water, it is going to develop some characteristics, so it will be included in the BIS standard limit. So coming to the physical characteristics, the water will be having color, then odor, then turbidity, temperature, and solids. Solids, we are going to have the other types in it. So first we are going to discuss regarding the color. Now in the last classes we have discussed regarding how the drinking water quality should be. Okay, we have discussed it should not have any color, it should not have any odor, it should not or it should have a very less amount of turbidity, then temperature, at how the temperature should be, how the solid should be, what kind of a chemicals, how to what extent it should be there, we have discussed about it. So we are going to discuss regarding the parameters of it, that is we are going to see in the physical characteristics, we are going to see the color. Okay, now the color, how it should be there for a drinking water, it should not have any kind of a color. So this color unit will be measured in terms of Hazen. So unit, in order to determine the color, the unit is Hazen. It is measured in terms of Hazen. So IS standard has a fixed certain limit to that. So desirable limit is 5 and permissible limit is 25. So what is this desirable limit and what is this permissible limit? So desirable limit is minimum below than this particular limit, whatever the source we are going to have, we should have the limit below than this. So that is nothing but called as a desirable limit, or we also call it as a required limit, or if it is below than that also it is no problem. Now what is this permissible limit? Suppose we are going to have two particular source for water. If one village is there, if it is going to have the two sources of water, now in the rainy season and all, this particular source we may use it, it will be having some quantity of water, we have used it, and suppose this, after having the water during winter and the rainy season, might be the water is got exhausted in this particular water source, and now we don't have this particular water source during the summer season. Now during summer season, the available water source will be the source B. This we are going to call it as A, this we are going to call it as a B. Now in a B source, if the water quality is, if it is not below the desirable limit or it is not near to the desirable limit, it is going to exceed this particular desirable limit. And permissible limit for color, how much they have given? They have given 25. Suppose if the 20 is there, Okay, for color, if the permissible limit is 20, then in the absence of desirable limit source, we can utilize this permissible limit source. Okay, now the condition is it should be lesser than this highest value. That is, if it is 20, or if it is 15, if it is 22, we can have it. Suppose by chance if it is going to reach say 30 or 26 also, we cannot utilize this particular B source, right? We cannot utilize this particular permissible limit source. It should be less than your permissible limit in the case of absence of your source A. So I hope the color concept is clear. The drinking water should not have any color. Suppose if due to any solids, if color is getting developed, it should be less than 5 Hazen, and in case of absence of this particular desirable limit source, okay, if we are having another source in case of summer season, if it is having 25 Hazen, less than 25 Hazen, we can have that particular water. So I hope that regarding color is clear. Okay, now regarding odor, the unit that we are going to utilize for odor, it is threshold odor number. We call it as ton. Okay, threshold odor number, we are going to call it as a ton. And the IS code, if any odor is there, then they have not given any kind of a relaxation for this. So the odor to the water, it should not have any kind of a odor. This is unobjectionable. We should not have any kind of a odor there. So they have not given any kind of a limit. It is completely unobjectionable. Next is the turbidity. Now what is turbidity? It is the resistance to the flow of light through the water media, okay, or it is the resistance to the flow of light. Suppose if in a one container, and I will explain regarding what is turbidity. Suppose in a container you are going to have you have taken some quantity of water. If there are some solids are present in it, now from this particular area, if you are going to pass some light, right, and if this particular water is going to have some solids in it, and if you pass a ray of light through it, then these ray of light will be getting scattered by these particular solids. So you won't get the ray of light at this particular screen. Okay, now what is happening? You are passing a ray of light through the container, and this container will be having some turbid water which is going to have some solids. When the ray of light you are going to pass through it, the ray of light is going to be get scattered by these particular solids, and you won't be able to see the ray of light at the other end, at the screen end. You are not going to see. So this is nothing but the turbidity. It is the resistance to the passage of light. So why this turbidity will be coming to water? It is going to come due to the presence of solids in it. So your IS code is going to give you a unit called as an Nephron turbidity unit. We call it as an NTU. Okay, we call it as an Nephron turbidity unit, that is NTU. Okay, IS limit, it is going to give you as desirable limit, it is 5 NTU, and permissible limit is 10 NTU. Okay, I hope regarding the turbidity it is clear. The water should not be turbid. If you want to drink a water, it should not be turbid. Suppose if turbidity is there in that, then it should be less than the 5 NTU, and permissible limit is 10 NTU. Now next is the temperature. The temperature for a drinking water will be normally at a room it will be at a room temperature, that is at 25 degrees Celsius, but your IS code has not specified any limit for this, but normally it will be at a room temperature. It might be also at 15 degree, 10 degree, 15, but if the temperature is going to increase, then we may not drink that particular hot water at a normal conditions. Next is the solids. So there are different types of solids are there in water. Okay, we are going to have the different solids such as the dissolved solids, suspended solids, settlable solids, then volatile solids and fixed solids. Now if we take one particular container, right? If you take one particular container, in that if we have added some solids in that, then in this particular container there are some solids which is going to be completely dissolved in water. Dissolved means that those particular solids will completely mix with water, that they are going to completely mix with the water, that is nothing but a dissolved solid. It cannot be easily getting separated. If we want to take these particular solids out, that it is not easy to take them out. These solids are completely mixed with water. Now what are suspended solids? Now we have added some solids in water. Now as the name is indicating, the suspended solids, even after adding the solids, whatever after giving certain amount of detention time, right, the particle will always remain in suspension. So that kind of a particles we call it as an suspended solids. The particle which remain in a suspension after some amount of detention time, then we call it as an suspended solids. Now what is settleable solids? When we add some solids in water, the solids which can be easily get settled down at bottom, we call them as a settleable solids. I hope you are understanding. Next is the volatile solids. Now what is volatile solids? Volatile solids is, suppose you are having a water in a container and you are going to heat it at a temperature of around 600 degrees Celsius. After heating at 600 degrees Celsius, what will happen? The water is going to evaporate. Now what will happen to these solids? Now there are some solids which are there in this particular water which evaporates at a temperature of around 600 degrees Celsius, that we call it as an volatile solids. The solids which are going to evaporate at a temperature of around 600 degrees Celsius, we call it as the volatile solids. Next is the fixed solids. Okay, even after heating the water at 600 degrees Celsius, there are some amount of solids which will remain in this particular container, that we call it as an fixed solids. The solids which are not going to evaporate after heating at a temperature of around 600 degrees Celsius is called as the fixed solids. Now what are again there is one more definition for this particular suspended solids is, these particular solids we can separate it by using a filter paper. That means if we take this particular water which is going to have some solids in it, if we pass through the filter paper, right, now what will happen? The water will pass, but the solids which are there in that particular water, they will get removed by this filter paper. So again, for a suspended solids, what is the definition? Those solids which can be easily separated by a filter paper and which remain in suspension. Okay, so this is regarding the different types of solids. Now if we add all these solids, it will become total solids. The summation of dissolved, suspended, settleable, volatile and fixed solid, we call them as total solids. The IS standard, your IS codebook has given the solids can be measured in terms of mg per liter. The unit we are going to have is mg per liter, and the IS code has given a desirable limit of 500 mg per liter and permissible limit of 2000 mg per liter. So this is regarding your solids. So in today's class we have discussed regarding the different types of water characteristics. In that we are going to have physical, chemical and biological characteristics. In today's class we have discussed regarding the physical characteristics, that is color, odor, turbidity, temperature and different types of solids and its along with its units and IS limit we have discussed. In examination they may ask you explain the physical characteristics of water. They may ask the question like this along with its IS limits. They may ask you in the examination. In tomorrow's class we will be cover regarding the chemical characteristics of water in detail.